So, we want to work on scripts and dialogues.
Yes.
Okay. So, you said, I want to do it, I just don't know what to say.
Correct.
So, where are you getting hung up?
So when I go to call a for sale by owner,
Okay.
I guess it's like, how do I just be like, what do I just say? Why are you listing your home without? Why are you not listing with an agent? Like, how do you? I just don't know how to get to that point of the conversation, I guess.
So, you're not alone, right?
Yeah.
Like, the biggest response I get when people say scripts and dialogues or who should I call or how should I say something is I just don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And the truth is you do. We just haven't done it enough for it to come out naturally, so it sounds weird, right?
Yeah.
Who is a for sale by owner?
Someone that doesn't want to spend the money on an agent.
Sure. I mean, they're just a person.
They're just
right?
a person, yeah.
They're just a person. They're a human, just like you and I. They have needs, wants, desires, dreams, goals, something they're working on. You know, so they're just like us. So if we sit and we take ourselves out of our shoes as a realtor and we put ourselves in their shoes, right? I would ask myself the question, what keeps them up at night, right? You know, as a for sale by owner, what's keeping them up at night? And if I put myself in their position, my initial thought is, I have to sell my house, right? I have to sell my house. I don't have enough money to pay an agent. That's a scary place to be.
Yeah.
Because most for sale by owners aren't like, I hate realtors. It's they don't feel that they can pay one. So they have to do it alone. And what we know is when they're doing it alone, or when we're doing something alone, it can be scary.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not something that we're wired to be okay with because humans inherently are wired to be in community, right? So when we sit and we put ourselves in their shoes, and I'm getting goosebumps, see, it's not because I'm cold, it's because I'm feeling it. If I'm feeling that, well, I'm a for sale by owner, and I'm nervous and I'm scared and I don't know what I'm doing, but I have no other choice.
Yeah.
Now, when we think about it like that, it's no longer a lead generation call. It's no longer a scary thing. It's no longer something where we're going to inconvenience them. It's something where I need it. They need me, period, right? And they don't need me to ask, why are you selling it on your own?
Yeah.
2 reasons. Number one, why is a defensive word.
Yeah.
We learned that in Ignite, right? We don't like the word why because if I go to, you know, I love that you shot that video, but why did you wear that shirt?
Yeah.
I mean, it just changes everything.
you're
Like the
on defense.
video now doesn't matter, right? You're on defense,
Yeah.
right? So, number one, avoid the word why. Number two, come from contribution and value. How many agents have probably called them saying that same exact thing? Well, when are you going to list with an agent, right? Or why didn't you? Or why did you? Are you dumb? Right? Like
Yeah.
That's how it sounds to them, though. If I'm in their shoes and someone's saying that to me, well, they think I'm stupid. Why would I want to work with somebody like that?
Yeah.
So the key to for sale by owner specifically, and I mean it's really anybody, it's relationship. It's building a relationship, period. So when I'm making a for sale by owner call, it's not I'm gonna go list their house.
Yeah.
It's how can I add value? And they typically are in this process alone. They're nervous, they're scared, they don't know what they're doing, or they're a former realtor investor who's sold a bunch of homes in their lives.
Yeah.
So number one job for me is to figure out which one. And how do we do that?
Questions.
We ask questions. We ask what kind of questions? Great questions.
Great questions.
Good job.
Yes.
Exactly. We ask great questions and we get deeper. Because if I find out, you know, that they're an investor or they've sold 1 million homes or this or that, well, great. The conversation's different than they're afraid to do this, right? Or they can't afford it because they absolutely can.
Yeah.
What that conversation now becomes is, well, what happened to your last agent? Or what's causing you not to use an agent? There's going to be some pain there where like they feel they're doing a better job than the agents that they've had in the past. Okay. That's exactly what it is, right? If they feel that they're working harder than their agent, why would they hire one?
Yeah.
And most investors, I'll just be honest, most investors absolutely do work harder than most agents. Which is why they're investors. They're smart. They're successful. They're good. They know how to use money. So why would they find value in paying an agent when they can do it themselves and avoid that expense as an investor? So I'm asking you.
Just because they can get it done and know like how it's being done.
Because they can get it. Why would they though? What would cause them to hire an agent?
Oh, what would cause them if there was value that they didn't have?
And what would that be?
Access to MLS.
They could get access to the MLS for $300.
Really? I didn't know that.
Smart investors know that. Now you know that.
I do know that now.
Look at that.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is the key to those phone calls. This is the key to getting in with people is this, the vulnerability, the practice, the understanding, the feeling of who am I talking to, right? You know, the biggest mistake people make is they make the phone call without knowing who they're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know they're calling for sale by owner, right? But all they see is, they have a house to sell and I can sell it.
Yeah.
Well, that comes off as commission breath, right? Like we just want a sale. At the end of the day, people want to be helped. They want to be added value to, right? They need us to give them the opportunity that they don't have themselves.
Yeah.
So, as an investor, the value we need to provide back to them. What do you think is important to someone who understands money, understands how to sell a house? I mean, they obviously don't need us to worry about that. What's important to them in your mind?
Just making as much money, like saving money, I guess, off of it.
Okay. Yeah, saving money. I would I'd argue it's not about saving money. It's the first thing you said.
Making money.
Making money, right? So how can we provide them better opportunity to make more money? That becomes your value.
Yeah.
Right? And your value, if I can help an investor make more money with me than without me, well then I win with investors, and they're going to hire me, and we're going to work together. And one piece of value I can provide to an investor is network. They have their own network. I have my own network.
Yeah.
Right? Like as a realtor, our job is to connect people with people. Period.
Yeah.
My network should be bigger than their network. And so, Mr. Investor, you have your network and you're marketing it to your network. Let's empower my network too, because if you had 30 people interested in this property or two, do you think you're going to make more or less money?
More.
Probably more, right? And so that's a value add to an investor. By the way, another add to an investor is, listen, I'm going to help you sell this property, and I know you can do it on your own, yet here's the thing, when you hire me, it's not just for this property. You want to make a lot of money as an investor, correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? And I want that for you. I'm an investor myself, right? So I want that for you. So here's the deal. We're going to work together to sell this house. By the way, that's an embedded command. Sell this house. Hire me, embedded commands, right? We're going to work together to sell this house. And I'm going to work to find you the best deals moving forward that are going to trounce anything other than any other agent has ever done for you. So my goal for you, and I don't know if you've noticed this on any of my new marketing I put out there, but my job for you and my goal for you is that you make more money with me than without me. And feel free to use that, right? Because that's truly it. It's that simple. I mean, honestly, if we're working with an investor or a first-time home buyer, my job is that this process is easier with me than it is without me, right? My job is easier, or my goal is that you make more money with me than without me. My goal is that you sell this house quicker with me than without me. It works for everything, right? And it's an amazing opportunity where, again, we can get in, have that conversation. Now it's up to you to hold the value, though. What are you going to do? So you better have a plan, is what I'm saying. So let's get off the investor piece. That's typically where I go for sell owners. However, let's get back to the 90% that aren't investors. They are scared. They're nervous. They don't feel like they have the money. They've got to make this sale and then skimp what they can out of the sale to make their next move. Or they're trying to sell their house because their mom needs to go into hospice and they don't have the money to pay it, right? Really feel their pain. Then when you make that call, it's a different conversation. You know, Mr. Mrs. Smith, right? You know, whoever I'm talking to, I'm just curious. I saw your house, 123 Banana Street. It's on the market. Well, it's kind of on the market. It's off the market. You're selling it for sale by owner. Is that correct?
Yes.
You are. Okay. And what led you to that decision?
Just need to sell. Need some money to put my mom in the nursing home.
Wow. Okay. So you're sharing. I'm pausing for a minute. You're sharing with me much more than they'll share up front, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to be a little bit more closed off. They're going to be like, well, we just need to save money.
Okay.
It's our job to get deeper to get to that point, right? They're just going to say, well, we just need to save dollars and money and we don't like agents or whatever they're going to say, right? They're never going to give you the answer.
Okay.
That's up to you to get deeper, and that's how you build trust in relationship. Most agents, when they get, well, we just need to save money and we don't like realtors, they're like, oh, okay, well, will you hire one? I mean, like, when will you hire one? That's where they go to. And that's an immediate trust killer.
Yeah.
Because, Taylor, you know better than a lot of agents because you're a relational guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to win with that. Anybody working transactionally in real estate will lose over time. And the reason is because they won't get deeper. They won't ask questions. And when they go immediately to hire me after they say, I need to save money, well, I can't hire you. I can't save money doing that. You didn't get deep enough with me to understand how that money is going to be important to them, right? So we need to dig and get deeper. So, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, thank you for sharing with me that you've got to save some money. You shared that your mom's going into a nursing home. I mean, what happened? Is she okay? Okay, goosebumps again, right? Did you feel? I feel it. Do you feel things when you talk about it? All right, go ahead. Sorry.
She's just developed Alzheimer's, and we just can't care for her at home anymore.
Understood. That must be tough on you and your family. It's a tough time.
Yeah, for sure.
How old is she?
She's 89.
89. Okay. And I'm just curious. What happens if this home doesn't sell in the next 30 days? God, I can't get rid of these goosebumps. What happens if your home doesn't sell in the next 30 days? I mean, how are you going to be able to afford to put her in there?
We're not going to be able to. We're going to have to do what we can at home.
So that's a tough position to be in, and I hate that for you. And here's what I want to do. I don't want to be the average agent saying, hire me, right? I want to understand what you're going through. I want to understand your financials to see if it makes sense, if you and I can work together on that aspect. But here's the thing. I'm going to help you sell this house anyway, right? Like, let me help you sell this property. I can help you create a flyer. I can help push it out on social media. I can do things for you. You don't have to pay me for that. Okay. Yet what I'd like to do is come over to the house, get to meet you, understand your situation, see what the house actually looks like. So that way, if I do come across a buyer that might be interested, I know how to tell and sell your home. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Now that's a much better approach, right? Yeah. And that's real, and that's caring, and it's candor, right? It's in a situation where they told me something horrible, right? I sat in their pain with them.
Yeah.
And I offered a solution that included me.
Now, are you allowed to market property like that? Because is it technically off-market property?
You could share their post. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
I just want to
No,
make
absolutely.
sure it was within.
And that's what I would tell them too. I said, listen, I'm going to share your post, and I've got a lot of realtor friends, and I've got a lot of people looking at real estate and all this, and I can help you through my social platforms and stuff like that. And you might get contacted by some other agents just because of that. Well, if they have a buyer, great. However, if they don't, call me back right away so I can represent you against them because they're going to negotiate against you, right? And at the end of the day, here's the deal. Are they going to have to move somewhere else?
Yeah.
So who's going to represent them when they make that purchase? It's going to be me, number one. Even if I don't get that listing, which, by the way, 8 times out of 10, that listing will come to me. Because we've built trust in a relationship, and I've shown them I'm willing to work without being asked, right? So I changed the conversation. Then they're going to buy a home, or they have friends and family that, okay, when something good happens, how many people do they tell? 5.
5.
Right? Out of 5, what we know is about 1 will actually have a need. So I get their business, I get their buy business, I get their friend's business, and then their friend's going to love me so much, I'm going to get 5 more opportunities, I'm going to get 1. So this approach of building trust and being in relationship is how I won with for sale by owners so quickly and so well.
Okay.
For sale by owners are just people.
Yeah.
But we put them on this like pedestal where they're like these people, you know,
It's like the golden egg. You're like, I need to get to them.
Because they are. I mean, they have a label in the industry, fastest source of business opportunity, FSBO, right? They raise their hand and say, I have a house to sell. Well, cool. All the agents call them and say, I want to sell it for you.
Yeah.
Instead of, let me understand that decision, right? Because there may be something deeper at work, right? And there always is. There's always a legitimate reason as to why they chose for sell by owner. They had a poor experience in the past. An agent didn't do what they said they were going to do. They fumbled the deal. They did something. Or, I need the dollars.
Yeah.
Well, great. Let's get to really understand it because, number one, I'll help you sell it regardless. Let me help you. Let me put you on my off-market list, right? You know, and they're like, what's that? And I'm like, well, this is the list that I send out to my whole database that they know these are available too, right? I could do that for you. Not every agent has that or does that. They could, but they don't. And so I'm adding value. I'm getting in the door. I'm meeting them, building a relationship, and then at the end of the day, I can look at the financials and say, you know, I don't think you can afford not to hire me.
Yeah.
But again, it's got to be a win-win. Like if I truly feel that they can't afford not to hire me to list the home, well, I'm going to tell them that because I'm going to be real. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be honest. But if I feel like they're in a position where they might be able to sell it on their own, well, great. I'm going to, again, win-win.
Still help them, yeah.
I'm going to help them because that's going to help me and them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to push them away like everybody else does. So the secret sauce to what to say to a for sale by owner is, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. So don't just
what's happening.
Don't go into thinking that you're going to get their listing.
No, that's the biggest mistake you can make.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to list with an agent.
Yeah.
They don't want to. If you work to convince them, you're just a salesperson.
Yeah.
If you work to be in a relationship and then they hire you, that's relationship.
Now, is it like, say, like the whole dementia thing or whatever? Someone's having to visit a nursing home. Is it fine to like be like, oh, I understand that. Like, I had to go through this with my grandparents or whatever.
Just as permission.
Okay.
So if that's the case, I would say thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. You know, I've got some personal experience with that as well. It's okay if I share it with you.
Okay. So just ask permission.
Asking permission.
Because I didn't want to
trust.
Okay. Because I was like, I feel like I can relate to a lot of different people because of a lot of things, but then I didn't want to make it about me.
Right.
But
and
that's the whole
thing,
understanding piece.
Because people tune into the radio station WIFN. What's in it for me?
Yeah.
They don't want to hear about you. But the moment you ask for permission, that's a sign of respect.
Okay.
And if they say yes, then they'll listen to you. They won't just tune you out.
Okay.
Does that simplify that?
Yeah.
It's super simple and easy.
Yeah.
We're just making a phone call. I want to get to know them. I want to know all the homes on the market, not just the ones in the MLS, right? And get to know their story.
Yeah.
And then have a piece of value where, like, hey, I can add you onto my off-market property list that I can help promote you to my database, my people, my network of agents. You know, I mean, not every agent's going to have that either.
Okay.
And that off-market property list could be for sale by owners. It could be expireds. It could be, if you're circle prospecting, door knocking, making phone calls around the neighborhood, people who said, I'll sell for this price. I mean, you can build a big off-market list.
Yeah.
And then guess what? When you market to that off-market list, they think about selling more because they see you, they see sales, they're thinking real estate, which means they're going to call you and say, oh my gosh, I'm ready to sell.
Okay.
The secret sauce to any business is relationship.
What about like when you call expired listings? Is that a little bit trickier because if they've already relisted, then you can't seem like you're. I guess it's the same thing. You don't want to try to get their business. You want to build a relationship.
Well, if they relisted, you shouldn't call them at all.
Yeah.
Right.
But you don't. I don't know. Like they're gonna be signing another. But I guess it's not fully signed yet.
Right. So if they've expired off the market, they have no contract with anybody.
Yeah.
Right. So it's fair game. You can make that phone call. You can have that conversation. And if they've relisted, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's black and white. If they've relisted and they're back on the market, well, you can't market to them. But if they're expired, then we can have those conversations. And expireds are easier and harder than for sale by owners, and these are the reasons why. They've also raised their hand, said, I want to sell my house.
Mm-hmm.
They've also said, I'll pay an agent.
But now this agent hasn't sold their house.
And now the agent has created this despair of a situation of the fact that they're going to be angry, sad, depressed, or deflated. So we've got to get over that, and the fact that how are we going to be different than the last agent? And that's where your value proposition comes in, and your value proposition comes from, again, sitting in the pain with them and understanding. Right? That's my value, is that I can understand. Like, that's one of my superpowers, is I can get deep with people and understand. Right? And when I can get to that level and understand, well, I can help them at a higher level.
Yeah.
So with expireds, my favorite question is, and it's catching on more and more, I think more agents are using it, but my favorite question is, hey, Mr. Jones, thanks for answering. I happen to notice your property at 123 Main Street expired off the market. What happened? You were on the market for 6 months. What happened? And let them rant.
Okay.
Because they will. They're like, oh, my agent didn't call me. I didn't get any feedback. I had like 4 showing. Exactly. You're going to get it all.
Okay.
And then from there, you're going to dig into that. Okay, well, how'd that make you feel? Or how would you have wanted it better? What did you enjoy about the experience? Nothing. Sometimes you'll get something. But when you're asking those questions and getting deeper and deeper and deeper, that's what the previous agent didn't do. That's an immediate value proposition to that expired listing, is the fact that you're listening.
Yeah.
The other agent didn't do that. Then I can find out, okay, well, in your perfect game plan, Mr. Seller, what would that have agent done to get your home sold faster? And then I'm going to learn, well, maybe he wanted an open house. Maybe he wanted a directional sign. Maybe he wanted a Facebook ad. Maybe he wanted his listing agent to actually come to the property instead of just, calling him and listing it, right?
Yeah.
Because that happens. It's crazy. But we've got to get deep enough to understand what they're looking for.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.